So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Well, it's going night out. And don't you know we're gonna scream and shout, oh no.
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host, Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where friends discuss the Columbus Crew. And if I may say, tip of the hat, Ben. I'm glad to be back. On this episode, we're going to talk about the Nashville game from yesterday, 3:29.
Tip of the hat, Mars!
The 2-2 game against Nashville away. We're going to read the internet. Of course, we had a lot of thoughts. I think that's how you pronounce that.
That is how you pronounce that.
We're going to install our second installment of the shootout.
Yeah, that totally works.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's not going to be a ball that we're still waiting to come down from the Charlotte game a couple weeks ago. It's going to be great. And we're also going to get a Crew 2 update from President Byrd. This week we've got games 2 and 3 of our 5 and 15 stand. So we're going to talk a little bit about our picks for Tigres on Tuesday and DC United on Saturday, both at home. With me in the club are Ben, Trey, and Haws.
Tip of the hat.
Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Good evening.
Mort did not attend due to a club decision.
We just,
So-
Yeah.
no more to say about that.
Baby.
Yeah, after
So,
last
yeah.
pod, he's like, that guy, guys.
I heard
Yeah.
we went to the zoo today, though. Did you guys
Yeah.
hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was posting about it on his Instagram. I knew he wasn't going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just kept sending pictures of kangaroos and alpacas.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll post that thing. I felt like an idiot.
Unfortunately, we've only told inside jokes from our text thread so far, so I think we're the only ones who are
Thanks for staying with us.
enjoying our conversation. But I am glad to be back. I was out last week. I took my family on what many Americans refer to as spring break, an annual pilgrimage I have not personally taken part in because of the habitual procreation of myself and my family over the last 10 years. But we braved the American skies and flew to New Mexico. And it was
Did
good.
any of the doors fall off?
No doors. We were on the MAX. We had a connection even. We had 2 MAX flights on the way out, and all doors were intact while airborne. It was good. I mean, with a bunch of kids, there was a lot of complaining. So just
Probably 'cause they're
Wow.
So what were you complaining about?
Probably 'cause they're girls.
Generalized misery. But no, we had a good time. It was a little like colder than we wanted, but we got to do everything that we planned to do. We just wore a coat. We did go to Meow Wolf.
Rough times.
Which were black.
If
All
anyone
coats are black.
in New Mexico, go to Meow Wolf. They are the jersey sponsor for New Mexico United.
Such a good jersey sponsor.
The new home for Micheletto,
Micheletto.
who we had on the show last
dude.
December, I think, during the offseason before
Jersey's
he
so
moved from
tight.
Crew 2 to New Mexico United. But anyway, Meow Wolf is this like, I don't want to, you cannot describe it, but it's in Santa Fe. It's an hour drive from Albuquerque if you're there. So I would 100% recommend that. So go do that. And they're a jersey sponsor, so even better. Anyway, so there was some complaining. So I did listen to our episode from last week, and there was a lot of complaining on there too.
No one listened to it for like 4 hours.
Let me escape all this complaining to listen
That
to
is
complaining.
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. I was like, all right, now I'll just settle in and take this big gulp of bourbon and
juice.
settle in for a nice, relaxing
You
review
knew what
of
you were going to get. You left us alone for the.
Yeah, Dad's gone. Now we get to complain. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, good to be back. Sorry, Mort's not here, but I did get his predict picks, so I'll share that later when we get to that segment. And yeah, I know
I'll play Mort for that.
Okay. Yeah, and since Mort's not here, there'll be a few extra tips of the hat in his absence. Speaking of which, you can participate in the show we'll post usually during the game or after the game on Twitter, Upper 90 Club Pod. So feel free to engage with us there. We're also on Instagram,
Score
Upper 90 Club
predictions.
Pod, and like and review the podcast. Give us a tip of the hat. We would love that. So let's get into the game against Nashville. I assume no one went to the game. I know I was mocked for that question last week. So
Who did that?
let's jump into the Nashville game. Haws, why don't you go through the lineups? There were a few notable omissions.
So the posted lineup and formation
Was incorrect. I was so confused when I saw it. I was like, who's even playing?
Was Yeboah, Jason Russell-Rowe, and Rossi up top. Amundsen, Morris, Nagby, and Farsi across the middle. Chiberko, Zawadzki, Morera in the back, and Schulte in goal. They more so played Amundsen, Chiberko, Morera in the back, and Zawadzki was roaming around up top. It rotated multiple times throughout the game. But notable omissions, Camacho and Ramirez from injury in Charlotte. Matan still not back, and Cucho was not there via a team decision.
Yeah.
Do you think they voted?
Vote him off the island?
Yeah.
They gave him
They
a
walked
rose.
up.
They gave him
They didn't give him a rose.
They didn't give him a rose. Sorry. Yeah. But on those two new injuries, Ramirez and Camacho, do we have info on what their timelines are?
Early on, I heard Camacho was maybe going to be back like Tuesday or this coming Saturday. I don't know if that still stands with any updates that have happened since what I saw. But Ramirez was out longer.
Yeah, they're very much prioritizing Tuesday and then Saturday. Mostly Tuesday, I feel like.
You think is that what it is?
We'll talk about it later, maybe. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely hurt, but they're probably just like, meh, we'll just throw Zawadzki in there wherever and just tell him to play wherever because he played everybody. He's just like, go in there and do some things.
Well, and I don't want to jump ahead, but larger question, which I think maybe Trey was getting at, is like, do you think that is there some scenario, maybe this plays into the Cucho omission, because we're kind of speculating on why he didn't go to Nashville. Could they be prioritizing this 3C tournament?
I think it's more. It's 3 game week, 3 games in a week, and it kind of coincided with his reaction when he got subbed out of Charlotte. So it was kind of like, hey, there's 2 birds, 1 stone. One, we probably need to discipline you for like acting out and like storming off and whatever he said, whatever happened behind the scenes. But also like, hey man, just take a break. Like we'll go down here without you, and then you've got Tuesday and next Saturday, and we're back in it. Because we've been playing like 2 or 3 games a week since we started this season.
Yeah. No, I think that I agree with exactly what you just said. There is that it probably is more of a game management, season management scenario,
accompanied with.
I hope so.
I don't think it has to do with Charlotte. I really don't.
Really?
But
He acted like a little baby.
he did.
I mean,
But
He tried to storm off to the locker room before the game was over.
Yeah, but he didn't, right? He,
Nancy
came
wasn't there, so Nancy only witnessed it via what he saw on television, and I'm sure what he heard through his coaches.
And
the
beauty
only
cam.
thing I could see in that scenario is that, like, if something continued into practice where he didn't back down and didn't come out and be like, yeah, that was really crappy of me, I shouldn't have done that, and he stuck to his ground. But I mean, that's just hearsay. We don't know. I mean,
Yeah. I like game decision because he has been playing really, really hard for like 3 games a week. And it's just like, we don't want to lose you to like an away game Nashville.
Yeah. And there's no real indication that he was disciplined, right? I mean, they said a club decision. So
Nancy left it very vague in everything I've
that's
seen
his style.
where people
That's
talk
his
to
thing.
Nancy.
Yeah.
He didn't get into the specifics. I wouldn't be surprised if he's prioritizing this game against Tigres.
Yeah.
It seems like Nancy really cares about this tournament.
That's what
and
I'm
wants
asking. Yeah.
to, he wants to go as far as he can.
Okay. So notable omissions on both sides. Still lots of good players on both teams. But let's jump into the Nashville game. We can just kind of go through the highlights. What'd you guys think? I mean, I think the first notable play was a huge stop from Schulte, 10, 15 minutes in. But I think we set the tone early, right?
Yeah. I mean, we dominated possession throughout the game.
But that's to be expected against Nashville.
I didn't know Nashville's. I mean, I don't pay attention to Nashville. I have no idea how they play. Listening to the announcers, they were talking about how they haven't had a single game this year with all 3 of their designated players on the field at the same time due to injury. So that continued with this match.
Yeah, speaking of the announcers, I will just sidebar and say that listening to Taylor Twellman was excruciating. He kept it at like a 3 for the whole game, and then whenever someone would score, he would take it to like a 16. And I don't know. It was pretty hackish. It was
no one's gonna talk as bad as I normally do. I do appreciate some of his takes. He had a lot of really good takes where I was like, okay, cool. I agree with that. I kind of agree
like when
with
he
that.
was like, you can bet rats, you know what?
Did he say that?
Yeah, the first goal. He was he just came alive after that Mukhtar goal. But
talking about Schulte is like everybody's salivating at the mouth.
Yeah,
well, and his weird like backhanded comments about Nagby, that's the first time he's headed the ball in his entire career.
Yeah,
I think that was the
and
other
then
guy.
he continues to do it 4 more times throughout the match.
All right, I didn't mean to. I just thought he did a bad job. He did a bad job.
Yeah. We switched over to the Nashville broadcast. We're like, screw it.
Hey, y'all.
I know.
I contemplated it.
I got soccer ball. It's
Got soccer ball.
So let's get to the first goal. Shortly after that, that save from Schulte, it was a set piece goal for the crew, which I think is the second that I remember. But I also remember 0 from last season. Then we talked about it a lot last season about how we were not converting set pieces and specifically corners. But Haws, talk through that first goal from Zawadzki.
So it was our first corner of the match. Rossi plays it into the box, not short. Plays it back post. Zawadzki gets in front of his defender, sends it back across the goal and in. Morris was kind of in front, trying to get his foot to it.
Yeah.
Doesn't, but great header from Zawadzki and great ball from Rossi. I know a lot of people are out Rossi right now. I understand some of it, but I'm down with his corners.
Yeah, that kick from that foot at that minute, it was great.
Yeah, I think it was probably planned, right? Because he was the only one back post. And I feel like it was obviously directed just to him, and he was one-on-one with the defender. And
he did a really good job of getting around Scheffler and winning the header.
Yeah.
We were
Which
talking about
again,
his
great
height, weren't we?
timing.
He's
Yeah,
like,
I was talking about this earlier. Like, he has no business being this dominant on set pieces.
wait,
but
did he score the
here
other
we are.
one? Did he score the other corner? Oh,
this
no,
year-
no, no. He
it-
cleaned
last
up.
year was
yeah.
this last year he had like two. I think it was like he had a header that was like
Yeah.
near post. I think was it?
He's-
No, his header
he's
was the
6
near
foot.
post.
Like
He's
not,
a tiny man. He's an oompa loompa.
no, he's 6 foot tall.
Yeah, that's pretty tall. But I mean, he's not like
for soccer.
Benteke or
That's
like
decent.
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. But I don't know, man. He's just got the knack. He's probably the best player in the league, right? He's got to be. He plays every position, and he's probably better than most everybody. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Can we talk for just a second about where was he playing? He was the other like striker, right? He was playing underneath Rossi and Russell Rowe. Like he was one of the top
Twellman
three.
was calling him playing in a 2 position.
What does that even
But
mean?
he rotated. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. Me and some of the people I was watching the game with were like, "What is Twellman talking
A
about?"
2 is like a left back,
Um,
right, or a center back. Whatever.
That's exactly what our conversation delved
Frankie
into. It's
Frankie
like, well,
Haydick was right back.
let's talk about numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, not the entire team, but many of the players did not play the same position the entire game.
yeah. Like Amundsen played left back. Chaburko played center back. I actually thought Chaburko played really well at center back.
Yeah.
Yeboah was definitely on the left wing. So the only position that's vacated from that is one of the 3 strikers. But
Well, he also played. So when we shift into that 3-3-4, when we're off, sometimes when we're off, have the ball
Yeah.
offensively, he was playing the right center back of the 3-3-4. He was playing attacking on the right side. I mean, yeah, he was moving around.
Nazi's doing some David Blaine stuff.
Hello, Adam Hernandez here, fellow crew fan and Columbus-based artist, muralist, and designer. When I'm not making art, I'm looking at art. And when I'm looking at art, I want it to come to life. That's why I made my new augmented reality prints. What's an augmented reality print, you may ask? Well, I make my really cool psychedelic art come to life in the palm of your hand. Check out my website, ahernandezart.com, or at ahernandezart to learn more. They're really rad. ahernandezart.
Glad to have him back too, right?
David Blaine.
No.
Yeah, Nazi.
I thought he was
know.
gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like, I mean, people get sick, but just glad that he was only out for one game.
But how sick? You know what I mean?
Well, and so now we know, not that sick.
Did David Blaine resurrect him?
Yeah.
It is
Blaine
It is
was involved. Blaine was involved, secondarily, tertiarily, but I think we played our game right. I mean, they had a few counters. Schulte was doing great work. Moreira, I thought, on a few occasions did a really good job of mitigating risky type scenarios where he was, clearing the ball. That one where he cleared it out to the sideline from the end line was really nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
going out.
Yes, the sliding tackle to
He had
played
prevent
great.
the corner.
Yeah, he actually played great. Well, they called him out too. Like Twellman would not stop talking about him. But straight up, he played awesome. So around the 45th minute is when I was like, all right, I'm gonna put my girls down. They've had like one shot on goal. Like it seems like it was the end of half. I left. I was gone maybe 10 minutes, and I come back. It's like halftime, 2-1. I got to watch the goal. I'm gonna watch it as you describe it. But like, what happened? Like,
Well, it was almost
how?
10 minutes of stoppage time. So
Is that what it was?
I think it was 6.
They advertised 6.
But then they scored, so that added some on top of it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk through those 2 goals. They scored twice in stoppage time. They heard that we like to play really long first halves, and
It's kind of our thing.
And we're able to capitalize on it. Again, the Twellman call on the Mukhtar goal was just so obnoxious. But talk through those 2 goals, Haws.
Yeah, 45 plus 3. Mukhtar scores. Yearwood plays a big switch to the left to Schaffelberg. He moves to the end line with Farsi on him, crosses the ball, and Schulte misjudges it completely, gets like fingertips to the ball. The ball drops to Mukhtar, strikes it with his first touch, low, and in. Amundsen's kind of in no man land. He thinks he's maybe saving Schulte and getting a header on. You can see him like try to head the ball, but the ball's not there. And then he's just in the middle, not marking anybody.
Yeah, I think this
played
was
a part in Mukhtar being wide open.
Schulte's one mistake of the game was right here.
Yeah,
I'm just now watching it. What
He shouldn't
happens?
have come out. He tried to come out. He tried to clear it.
He's out of
and
position.
he didn't get it. Like it's not egregious.
it's just
but
fingertips. Yeah,
if he doesn't touch it, Amundsen heads it out, and then Schulte's still on his line.
What happens is their number 9. What's his name? Sam
Mukhtar?
Surge. No, Surge.
he's a big dude.
He runs near post, and both, I'm looking at it right now, Amundsen and Chaburko mark him as he's running like towards near post, leaving Mukhtar wide open. So they both are marking the same guy, and no one.
Well, yeah, but if Schulte stays on his line, then Amundsen.
I bet you he saves
that
it.
ball doesn't fall to Mukhtar if he doesn't tip it. That's the thing. Is that he comes off his line, he tries to punch it, he barely touches it, it skips over everybody's head right to Mukhtar's feet. Nothing that Schulte could do once he had come out. So
yeah, Schulte.
It is what it is.
Yeah, both Surge, Schulte, Chaburko, and Amundsen make that play to like the middle near post, and it goes over all 4 of them to like a wide open Mukhtar. Yeah, you're right.
But these are like just statistical makeups, right? I mean, like Schulte's playing confident. He's doing his thing. Every once in a while, it's going to be a tip of the ball, and he's, they'll get one in. So then they score again, right? What, like a few minutes later?
45 plus 8. Godoy scores. Mukhtar plays a ball across the box. Surge is offside at the time. The ball falls to Schaffelberg on the left side of the goal, outside the box. He plays across to Godoy, who is unmarked at the penalty spot. He bikes it in. Zawadzki's basically marking no one at the time, and Nagby is literally just standing there watching in the background, not marking anyone. Just kind of got lost on the play, it seems like.
Same thing with the first goal. They just kind of get lost in the box. It seems like they're playing zone. Question.
You think that they held back because they thought there was an offside, or like
no.
End of the half, not playing to the whistle kind of thing? Or
It was legit. Like how the play played out was perfectly fine. Surge was off, but he didn't touch the ball. He didn't interfere with the play.
I know it was legit. Yeah.
I don't agree.
I don't agree either. I'm
don't
just not
agree?
watching it. No,
I don't.
Because Farsi was goes to mark Surge and then has to run to Schaffelberg. He wouldn't be marking Schaffelberg if he wasn't offside. That's offside, right?
If he's not offside and in a position to where Schulte has to stay on his line and maintain his position in the 6, he comes out and wins that ball. If he's not 3 feet ahead of the line running forward, he's in the play. He's in the play
offside.
As the ball comes across. He lets it go across him to his other player, but it's like at that point, Schulte has already not come off his line because he's in the play. I get it. I'm not screaming, but at the same point, I don't understand how that doesn't get a review to always look at it for the ref to make a decision to say, this is my call in the field. I agree with it.
Well, we got real refs now.
We do.
Didn't you hear?
Yeah.
I'm not super bummed about it,
did
but
well.
That's offside. He did do well. Although what's his name? Whatever, that dude should have had like 3 yellow cards. He had. I counted.
I got notes on the number of fouls he
did
had.
you? I had him like.
This was a very
6.
good goal, and like
a good take.
The bike was fantastic, and all that. Like it broke down in other places, but to me, if that play is coming forward, he's in an offside position. He's in the play.
They played it to him. They were trying to play it to him.
Yeah, they tried to play it to him
2 feet away from it.
But stop the cross, stop the bike.
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is.
Stop the steal.
It was deflating. Deflating after what felt like a good first half.
Yeah, for sure. So then we let's jump to the second half. What we did not mention was that Sawatsky got he was down for a while, which led to the 6 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. He had a head injury, and they spent some time looking at him. I think he fell back into somebody.
Moreira's elbow.
Moreira, yeah. So he came out at half. Is that right?
Yep.
Stroza came in at the new half. What do you guys think about the first half before our equalizer?
I kind of had an issue with how we were setting up. So, and I know Nashville plays, counterattacking ball. You got to break them down. They're going to get numbers behind the ball. It's going to be frustrating, especially when we don't have Cucho, Matan, Ramirez. Like, we don't have our starting three that were in the cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all that to be said, I thought it was bizarre that when Hinestroza came on, he was the one stretching like to the sideline. Usually that's Farsi and Yaboa give us width, and then we pinch in the three. But like the entire time Hinestroza was in, he was constantly way out on the right, and Farsi was kind of in the just kind of like either kind of pinched in the middle or just behind him. They were kind of like running into each other. It didn't feel like when we were attacking up the right, it just didn't feel like anything was going to happen. Yeah, we were like, they were running into the same space. I didn't think Farsi in general had that great of a game, especially on the attacking end. Yao picked it up, but in the first half, I also thought he wasn't that dangerous. But that was kind of my issue, because every time Hinestroza went to pick up the ball, he was like way out on the right touch like sideline, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? I mean, I get they're trying to isolate him because that's the type of player he is, but I just didn't think it fit his profile, but didn't fit our system and what we were trying to do. Yeah. What did you guys think of Russell Rowe? I thought he actually had a good game. Mort was saying he wasn't impressed, but I thought for most of the game he was on an island. Like, he was getting zero help. Like, it was him and then the three center backs. Like, Twellman called it out too. He's like, yeah, he's just marked by three center backs. I'm like, yeah, there's no one helping him.
I thought he held it up well at times.
It wasn't perfect, but like,
I think in general, he does a pretty good job of holding the ball up when we play it up to him. He had multiple shots on goal.
Yeah, I didn't have any issue with Hinestroza with the way he played. I thought one thing Nashville did that was interesting was, instead of high pressing us, which a lot of teams, including Red Bull and LAFC, they were actually sitting, and I mean, they had no issue breaking, like waiting, absorbing the pressure, and then because we didn't have Cucho and Rossi wasn't doing anything up top, it was different because, I mean, we were getting to their final third, and then they were actually stopping us.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have the horsepower there that we normally would have. And then speaking of shots on goal and not having the horsepower there, we did not mention the PK that happened almost immediately after half. Rossi was brought down like right on the line. They went to VAR. Anything to say about his penalty? It went off the post. I think we're going to talk about Rossi a little later in general, but
I mean, that's one of those moments where Russell Rowe did great to hold the ball up. I mean, it actually, I think, goes off his back, but nonetheless in the direction of Rossi.
Well, no, the ball comes over the top, and he doesn't have position, and Russell Rowe's able to get position.
Takes a big bounce.
Yeah, he's able
to. But I think it goes off his back to
yeah.
Rossi.
He takes it in. The problem is, like, Rossi does a decent job of getting the ball and taking it. He gets fouled 100%, and the ref does well.
And the play went on,
which is fine
for quite some time.
He reviewed it, and the best part about this entire thing, cheers to the ref. He turned around. Hadi Mukhtar went to say something. I don't know if you guys saw this. He just has a big smile and is just nodding his head and just points to the spot. Like, Hani's like, it's not a foul. And he's just laughing. He's like, nah, it's a foul. It's 100%.
Oh, 100% it was.
So the entire time I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, he doesn't have a goal this season. We've been talking about his production, like his work rate, sure, great, but his production hasn't been great. And it's like, all right, this is kind of a turning point for him. I was like, he's going to get this
Cucho's
goal.
has been taking the PKs, but Cucho's gone. Right?
But this
Here's
could
an
be
opportunity to step up and be, he's wearing the number 10, right?
And shake it, shake this stigma that everybody's like, hey man, what's going on? And then he just bings it off the post, and it's like,
aren't you tired of being referred to as the Golden Boot winner of 2020? It's just it's got to be exhausting.
It makes me wonder,
because he's only 25, but everyone talks about him like he's at the end of his career.
Well, LAFC was great then, and they had Bouanga at the time, and Bouanga right now is phenomenal. That team was great, but he just, I don't know. That to me, I was like, you don't take him off right away, but it's I don't know, man. The game progressed, and it was pretty obvious. I was like,
One of the announcers talked about how every PK that Rossi has ever taken goes to the keeper's
100%.
And that's what he did.
Peter Cech wannabe, shout out Trey on that one. But
he had a tip of the hat on.
Tip of the helmet.
Tip of the month.
1920s.
That guy, he had him. He had it, dude. I mean, as much as I wanted to punch that little helmet, he had him locked down.
Panico.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing better than a goalkeeper named very close to the word panic.
He's very calm. Very
Panico
calm.
at the disco.
Panico, they did look to see if he stepped off his line.
He did.
They decided
he didn't. I don't think he did. He was legit.
One foot came forward, the other one stayed.
I'm of the impression that you give the benefit to the keeper because it's a free shot on goal. If he barely steps off his line, it's yeah, but you have a free shot on goal. It's what?
Yeah, I mean,
give me a break.
Rossi didn't even put it inside the framework.
It doesn't matter. If he drove the opposite way, he still would have put it off the post.
Yeah,
not great, man.
Let's jump ahead. We, in Nazi fashion, had not made a sub other than the Hinestrosa sub for the likely concussed Zawadzki at half, or head injured Zawadzki.
Possibly concussed.
But 79th minute, we did equalize. Beautiful goal. Haws, talk through that one.
All right, it's a bit of a wind up here. Nagby wins the ball, carries it forward.
Cool. 1978.
Plays to Yeboah. He plays the ball out to Yeboah on the left, plays the ball back to Nagby. He passes over to Morris. Morris plays to Moreira. He drops the ball back to Farsi. Farsi plays back to Morris. Then the ball goes back to Nagby, back out wide to Yeboah on the left. He makes a couple moves, drives the ball towards the end line, chips the ball across the box, finds Hinestrosa at the back post, plays a little looping header over Panico. 2-2. Apparently it's his 5th assist of the season for Yeboah. Again, I tried to look up those numbers previously and they didn't match up, but nonetheless, the announcers keep adding on to it. So, such a good header.
Beautiful.
Hinestrosa.
The ball was awesome. So that was the second or third time Yal just dusted Mural.
Yeah.
Like I said, he grew into the game, and towards this end of the game, he was just full of confidence, just absolutely putting people on ice skates. They had no idea. That specific one, just completely affected him. I thought the ball was awesome. The chipping floating ball, and then the goal to go back across. That's two. Both of our goals were headers back across the goal on a keeper who was probably 6'4". That guy was a monster. And it
also not their first string keeper.
Yeah, sure. But I thought he actually played pretty well. But it's nice to see Hinestrosa score. Because
we've been waiting for that. He's young.
I am too.
We keep saying he's out. It's a lot of show, but maybe out over his skis. So good to see him finish.
Yeah.
Good and good sub by team MVP Nancy. I don't know that we need to belabor the rest of the game. I don't think there was anything too much of note between the second goal and the end. We made a handful of subs. Arfson came in.
Schulte had some great saves towards the end too when they started getting gnarly. Our defense had a lot of like one-on-one defending that was really well. And then there was like one with Mukhtar that was like a one-on-one that
Yearwood should have been carded. His first 4 fouls in the game were all against Morris.
Yeah.
On Morris.
Oh, that was a battle.
And they were hard fouls. His 5th foul was
Nagby.
Oh my God, I just lost it. In the 86th minute on Yeboah, and he still didn't get a card with his 5th foul. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad to have the refs back.
The other thing I saw in this game, I mentioned Moreira in the first half. Amundsen wound up, and I don't remember what happened with his shot, but I was glad to see him in position. He's got like 1 in every 10 games. I feel like he surprises you, right? Like he'll take one from long distance or whatever, and I was glad to see him with the confidence there.
Yeah, it's almost like we signed him to be a winger. It's like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so 2-2 draw on the road. That's
good point.
We started strong. We're a great team. We're the defending champions. We feel like we should win every game based on the predict picks from you guys.
65% of possession.
We're a great team. But we spent, I don't know, a lot of this game trailing, and probably as much as we did leading. And good to get a point on the road. So let's break here. And when we come back, we will read the internet and dig into some more of the topics from the week. We'll be right back.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
Oh my. Okay. All right. Man. Okay. We're back. We're back. I got to bring us back. I got to bring us back because Ben was just saying that he hasn't seen Nacho Libre. We are here to read you the internet, and on the internet somewhere, you'll have to check your streaming services, is the movie Nacho Libre. But aside from that, now we're going to read you the internet. Ben, do you have access to the internet?
Yeah.
All right, start reading.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
The internet? Oh, yeah, great. Okay, so, well, the top comment for some odd reason is Trey, who said, "You're going to eat your tots."
Yep.
Connor said, "Missing 5 starters could have been way worse. A point is a point. Now on to Tigers." He said Tigres, but I'm just going to call them Tigers. Thanks, Connor.
You were just translating, and he's right. We talked about that, right? It's good to tie on the road.
I'm not entirely sure.
Thanks,
Tigers
Connor.
is Tigre. Anyways,
what?
He says, nah, I'm just kidding. Hablo poco español.
Wait, you're on the Duolingo.
Yeah.
That is a subplot to this podcast, is your inability to speak Spanish yet.
See.
All right, go ahead.
He says, "Win at home, draw on the road equals MLS success."
Yeah. Yep,
yeah,
agreed.
The fact that we did it without Cucho Ramirez, Camacho and Matani, even better. I agree. Jamie Subtle, here we go, says, "Felt pretty good, all things considered." She says some other stuff, but it says, "Get that corn out of my face," and it's from Nacho Libre. I don't know.
Yeah, it's from the ref. There was a throw in where the ref just slapped the ball back out of bounds.
It was my
because
favorite.
He wasn't in the right spot.
It was my favorite part of the season, and we'll continue. Yeah, he was just like, no. And I was like, that's when I texted back. I'm like, the refs are back. I really like that ref, though. Seems weird,
well, you said
like,
earlier he
I
was
feel like the refs
laughing at
usually
Mukhtar.
are refusing to touch the ball, and he just like slapped
Get that
the
going
ball.
out my face.
Thanks, Jamie.
Jamie, and Nacho Libre.
Love it.
Ben said during the break he hasn't seen Nacho Libre.
I'm keeping that in.
Dude, that whole thing.
Yeah, I'm 100% keeping it in. You're like, we'll start over. I'm like, nope.
Awesome. Well, man, I love the Nacho Libre. Haws, hit me with another quote. Hit me with a Nacho Libre quote.
Save me some of that corn for later.
Save me a piece of that corn. Save me a piece of that corn for later. What else you got? Sometimes when you're a man, you wear stretchy pants in your room.
I'm more of a Saving Silverman type of guy when it comes to Jack Black.
I'll take
My all-time favorite Jack Black movie.
100%.
Jack Black, he just came out with a new hit single. It's called Oops, I Did It Again. You should check it out.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda
4.
30.
Quattro.
Yeah.
Quattro for the Spanish speakers.
See.
Okay, what else you got?
Freelance driver says, worried about the Cucho situation. We kind of addressed that. We'll just move forward and see.
We would just be speculating if we talked more, but I hope everything's
complete
good.
speculation.
Yeah.
Hope everything's good.
He seems fine. Carrie Moore says, better than a loss considering what we were up against today. I'll take it. Musket Man, which is at Musket Lad, which I kind of love that. He said, thoughts? ? I'll take it. Would have preferred Columbus staying as good as they started, but after losing for so long, I'll take a tie. It does feel like we were kind of on a skid. Del Barris at River Buckeye says, considering the amount and quality of players they were missing, I'm happy with a point in the standings.
Yep.
Yeah, point's great. Rex, I think, is that the Rex? The T-Rex that we met?
Yeah.
What's up,
The dude
Rex?
that was at
him.
your show.
What's up, Rex? He says, Ben's so tight. He's the best. And I was like, thanks, Rex. And then he also said,
didn't.
have a T-Rex sample?
No, he didn't say that.
Have a sample you could put
CBJ,
in?
he says, 2.5, man. CBJ wins against Pittsburgh and Crew. I mean, CBJ is terrible. Crew draw on the road. I'm not going to ask for more. Let's see what Cucho and Ramirez can do. Cucho for president, which I can only deduce is actually Cucho, says the thoughts are that we should sell
President
Rossi,
Bird. Yeah.
start Marino, and buy a Camacho-like DP CB with that money.
Oof.
Say that one again. Say that one again.
So,
Sell
He's-
Rossi.
yeah,
Start
sell Rossi,
Marino.
start Marino, and buy a Camacho-like DP center back with that money.
So this is the question I wanted to ask. And
How much can we sell Rossi for?
We mentioned it earlier. Does Columbus Crew have a Diego Rossi problem? We need to keep
think
this experiment going, or should he go?
I think we do. And I think people are out of line
Oh,
with their
spicy.
complaints and crying.
What you think?
It
I'm
takes
sorry
time.
that my
It takes
tears
time.
bother you, Haws.
How long has he been on the
alligator
team?
tears.
Since August of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think they said like 24 games.
not even
or
a
something.
year.
7 months.
Not even a
8
year.
months.
Yeah,
How long does it take people to get?
He's a designated player.
I mean, he was in MLS previously, but nonetheless, he came back from Europe.
he's supposed to be in the
to rejoin
sequence, the
MLS.
Fibonacci sequence.
I mean, I think he does some good things, and I think people should calm down and let it happen.
So okay, is that
I
how you
strong
do?
arm.
Wait,
things?
hold on. I agree with
Just lay
Haws.
down.
You
I agree
agree
with
with
us.
us. Okay.
Except for he's making the kind of money that you expect him to in the position he plays
so you agree with me? Okay.
to come in. He needs to be producing. He needs to be producing in some level, and
Yeah.
he's not.
Well, he's
Assist.
got the
He got an
assists. He has assists.
The
They're
corners
like
are good.
circumstantial.
The corners are better than
Yeah,
before
he's
he
not
was
like
on
The
the team.
team is better when he's on the field. I agree.
He's not generating assists like Scalotto generates assists and I'm not talking about quantity. I'm talking about like when you think back to a goal where Scalotto assisted a goal, you could say like Scalotto did this and then unremembered goal scorer did that, right? Like, so Rossi, I don't feel like has that power. And I agree with you. Like if you bring a player in, especially Nancy has this, what many perceive to be a unique or kind of newer system that people need to adjust to. This was the grace that we gave him in August, September, October of last year. He's a designated player, man. I think he's been brought in to make an impact. And if he wasn't, then he shouldn't be wearing the number 10.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you guys' Rossi takes. I think
Both
All of
takes
us?
so far?
where are
I
you?
think they're all.
What's your take?
I need him to come work at a bank. No, so like what I'm
I
saying
own a
is,
bank.
if it were me,
I need employees.
so
This
Cucho
is unrelated
starts
to
right.
the
Like so, if we got 3 positions up top,
Uh-huh.
and everybody's healthy, I would start Cucho. I would start Matan because I think Matan does what Rossi does. I mean, he doesn't hustle as much as Rossi, but I think he's more dangerous on the ball. And I would start Russell Rowe. I rate.
Say Matan and Rossi.
I
bitch
mean,
at the
I'm
prior to
willing
this
to-
game, I didn't disagree with you.
But I would argue that if you look at the amount of time played, what Russell Rowe has done, like goals and assists, far outweigh what Rossi has produced. And he plays all 90 minutes of every single game, and he has since he got here. And I'm saying, like, Ramirez steps on, changes the game. Russell Rowe comes on, changes the game. And that all also depends on Cucho. And I think Rossi does well when Cucho's on the field, but everybody does well when Cucho's on the field, right?
Because Cucho does well when
he's
Cucho's
the
on the
game
field,
changer.
yeah.
Yes.
So if he's not there, we need somebody to step up and be that game changer. And that dude is 100% not that guy. And I don't think he's capable necessarily of that. I don't even think he's tasked with that. But
I mean, who would you have started over him for this game? There is no one.
for this specific game, having Ramirez out, having Cucho out, having Matan out, those are my like 3 starters of last year who were phenomenal. Yeah, you have to start Rossi. And I mean, I even have a hard time being like, I need, if Russell Rowe's in, Cucho's in, and Matan's in, I would sub in Rossi for Matan as a like for like. But I wouldn't expect him to change the game. And that is kind of a problem. That's my opinion.
Because you're not sell him, and you wouldn't sell him
because like Ramirez would come on. He's a totally different player.
To the internet, the most important place.
I don't even know if I don't know if I'd sell him. I
it's not a failed experiment yet, is what you're saying. It sounds like that's the consensus here.
I think
it's not yet a failed experiment.
Correct, but I think expectations are that when Cucho is out, you're supposedly the second best player, you're the best player in the field if Cucho's not there. You have to step up. You have to do something else. Whether it's an assist to Russell Rowe, whether it's playing, like whatever it may be, you have to score that PK.
Yeah.
That's what you need to be doing.
That's for sure.
But and like it's not the end of the world. We're doing great. Rossi's great. He's totally going to fit. He drew the penalty. I understand that. He got the assist on the corner kick. He is a very good player. I'm just saying, like, he's not Cucho when, like, if we lost Cucho tomorrow, if he got sold, or if he got hurt.
No, but he's making the kind of money that if Cucho's not there, he needs to be.
He's making Zellerayan money too, right? Like everyone says,
right.
Oh, do not be deceived by the fact that we got rid of this player this day and brought in this other player the next day, kind of thing. Like they're different players, they play different ways, and I agree with that.
They weren't expected to be like for like.
Yeah, true.
They were expected to be like for like.
They were not.
We're not. Right. So
but if Cucho's not there, he needs to raise the level of his game. He needs to bring it to the next level during that game.
Agreed.
And honestly, I think he needs to quit bitching at the referees.
He is
like
he chirps.
is constantly chirping at the referee. Yeah. Like just leave it. Yes, if something's egregious, sure, but when it's constant,
You got to imagine
that becomes a yellow
you
card.
got to imagine that Nancy's
And-
talking to him about that. If we're talking about it, this is not Nancy ball,
Yeah.
right? Like it's
That's
a
not the
bad
game,
look.
right.
It's a bad look.
Totally.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Ben?
No.
Okay. All right. So we've reached the end of the internet. Let's jump now to our whatever you say, monthly-ish recurring segment, The Shootout, with Chris Deville. Chris is the managing editor for Stereo Gum. He used to be the crew writer for the Columbus Alive. He used to play music with me and Ben, and is a good friend of all of us for several years. So he is back with some questions on Nashville, Tigres, Mexico games, and DC. Let's cut over to that now. After that, we'll do our Crew 2 update from President Bird. And then we'll get into our predict picks for the upcoming week. We'll be right back. All right, Chris, welcome back to the club.
Great to be here.
Yeah, so before we jump into I guess this is the second installment of the shootout this season. What have you been up to?
Well, as you know, I was just writing an article about a friend of yours, Mitch Rowland.
Yeah.
Best known as the touring and recording guitarist for Harry Styles.
Yeah, I saw him here in Chicago. I think he had one more date on his self his solo album tour.
Yeah.
You saw him in Columbus, yeah?
I did see him at the Newport Music Hall, and I interviewed him about his whole life. Well, whatever he fit into 45 minutes in the balcony of the Newport, and some reminiscing about back when he was just a young pup on the Columbus scene, opening for Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I recorded his band and when he was like,
what band was he in
high school? Gypsy Red,
and I feel like it changed to something else.
Yeah,
that I'm struggling to think of.
Total Navajo. He did like a solo thing, but we've kept in touch. I mean, he's done really well for himself, and we've kept in touch. I saw him here. He's doing well. He's got a kid that tours, like a son, like a 3-year-old son who tours with him.
Yeah, his wife is the drummer.
Right.
So
his wife is a drummer.
Family unit on the road together.
Partridge Family.
But it was cool because he also used to play drums for this band called Lionel the Jailbird.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, I know that I wrote about that band in Columbus Alive. And so I went and Googled. I was like, I really hope that I was nice. Like, I really hope that. I didn't know what he was going to say when I met up with him. I was like, if I trash his band in 2011, is he going to be
be a trap?
Yeah,
it's gonna be a long play, a big long play to put you on the spot.
Finally,
it turns out that I really liked them.
Yeah,
I said that they just had it. I don't remember the exact terminology I used, but I said you either have it or you don't, and these guys have it. So,
oh, thank God.
Yeah, it was very relieving when I realized that I had been, approving in the past. But it was really cool talking to him about just how he ended up in the studio with Harry Styles and how he met. He met his wife because she was drumming for Harry Styles. So they just met at tour rehearsal and so
is that off. Columbus Monthly again?
Yeah, this will be in Columbus Monthly, but not till June. So this is a major preview.
Okay. Yeah, Ben sent me the Nancy issue that we talked about last time.
I had it right here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got it buried in a pile. It's here. I don't want to make a bunch of noise, but Mitch, man, he's great people. So that comes out in June. Can't wait to see that.
May something because it's the June issue.
Okay.
But, who knows when it'll be on the internet. But yeah, so that was cool. That was like something I was working on. Still working on my book. I don't know if we've talked about my book. I'm like
I don't think we have.
Well, let's not get into that this issue.
We'll do it. We'll jump into it next time.
Do you have a title?
It's called Such Great Heights. Originally it was the subtitle was How Indie Rock Went Pop, but now my editor wants it to be more like, hey millennials, remember this?
Right.
But my outline for the book hasn't changed though, so that's like. But we're not going to get into we could dedicate a whole episode of the shootout just to my book.
We will. How about
will.
next time? Yeah, one of them you should ask the questions about music in that genre. Also, I listened to a podcast where you were talking about Incubus.
Oh yeah,
like the whatever. Alex hit me up and he's like, "Dude, Deville's on this thing talking about Incubus." I was like, "Wow, I didn't realize he was like an Incubus head." I don't know what their fan base is called. Incubus?
Succubus.
A cube.
Incubus was that was my last favorite band before Radiohead. I think I said that on the podcast. Like as an impressionable teenager.
Yeah,
I was right there with you.
It was like my my gateway drug out of new metal into like pretentious hipster bullshit.
I blame the Family Values Tour CD.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, when I discovered them was from the Family Values Tour CD. But
the song New Skin was second, and it was just like I played it in the shower, and I was like, "What am I listening to?"
So
what am I what to?
So yeah,
I call it listening.
If you really love listening to me read off obscure Major League Soccer trivia, and you want to hear my voice more, you can listen to that episode of Bandsplain with Yossi Solik, by one of the Ringer podcasts, and I talked about Incubus, and I thought it went really poorly, but I was talking to Mark's other friend, Ahmed, who said that it was good. So there you go.
Yeah, and I do like to hear you read Columbus Crew trivia, so I want to get into that, but I will just mention the other tidbit that I thought was incredible about Mitch was that our friend Ahmed was the band director for a band that Mitch's wife was in before she played for Harry Styles. And even though they were both from Columbus and we were, all of us were friends with both of those guys, they had never met, and they met in New York through Sarah, the drummer for that band. Just incredible small world that we heard about later. But all right, let's jump into it.
All right.
Take it away, Chris.
So yeah, as usual, I have 5 questions, multiple choice, all related to Columbus Crew current events and related factoids. So I got some questions. I got a question related to Nashville, a couple of questions related to the CONCACAF Champions Cup upcoming head-to-head against Tigres, and a couple of questions related to DC United, who the Crew will be facing this coming weekend.
Rivalry classic, right?
Yeah.
Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro is involved in one of these questions.
Good.
Yeah, but let's start. Question number 1. Nashville wore their yellow kits Saturday against Columbus.
Wannabes.
Yeah, Nashville famously stole the Columbus color scheme. How many teams, including Nashville, have worn yellow against the Crew this year in all competitions? A, 1, B, 2, and C, 3.
We all know it was 2, right, Chris?
Yes, it was 2. It's correct. Haws did put in the chat that the other team besides Nashville was Red Bull, New York.
Yeah.
Yep.
That they let them do at home.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
It was very weird.
All right, so we started with an easy one and everyone gets it right.
Are there other teams that are yellow? Like, are there other teams that
RSL has a yellow getup?
And then like LAFC, they don't have like a gold jersey? Do they? They're like white and black. Like their away kit is black.
I feel like they mostly wear their black. I don't know what their second.
But these soccer
Kit
teams
options.
are always just throwing in these wacky, like the more elite of a club you are, I feel like the more like wacky kits you have that have nothing to do with your color scheme.
Yes.
So you never know who's going to wear yellow.
Red Bulls was like a tie dye, right?
Tie dye, like urine stain, kind of.
Yeah.
Splashes of the.
It's like the load record, the Metallica load record, but with like farts and pee.
Yeah.
I prefer Reload.
Well,
all right. Hit us with number 2, Chris.
All right, question number 2. T-Grace related. So Lucas Elrayan famously played for T-Grace before coming to Columbus. How did his stats with the Crew compare to his stats with T-Grace? I have a couple. So A is he had more appearances with the Crew and more goals. B, he had fewer appearances with the Crew and more goals. C, he had fewer appearances with the Crew and fewer goals. Or D, he had more appearances with Columbus than T-Grace, yet fewer goals.
Yeah, Ben and I said B, and Haws and Trey said C.
All right, the answer is B.
Hey.
He appeared with the Crew fewer times, but he scored more goals for the Crew. He had 113 appearances with T-Grace, 21 goals. With the Crew, he had 97 appearances, 38 goals.
Okay, and if you're not keeping track at home, the score is 2-1. Mars and Ben, Trey and Haws each have one.
Next question. Question number 3. The Crew has faced Mexican teams 12 times in official competition. Do they have a winning, even, or losing record against Mexican teams? A, winning, B, even, C, losing. The answer is C, losing.
So Haws and Trey made up their loss.
All tied up.
Ben and I said,
it's 2-2 to 2-2.
Crew's all-time record against Mexican teams in official competition is 4-6-2.
Well, define Mexican teams. Are we talking? Does Chivas count?
Chivas USA, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
What about Austin FC?
Yeah, Houston.
Chivas USA doesn't count, right?
No, it doesn't count.
Hence the USA, right?
They really put the USA.
It was mentioned. I felt like I was taking crazy pills.
Crew apparently did play a friendly against T-Grace in 2002 and lost 2-1. But that's not related to any of these questions. Okay, question number 4.
True.
We're moving on to DC United related questions. Pedro Santos scored for DC United last game, came through with the 89th minute screamer. Which of these former Crew players has not scored for DC? A, Miguel Berry, B, Federico Higuain, C, Ola Kamara, D, Brian Carroll. Miguel Berry, A.
Oh, yes.
He went to DC and did absolutely
terrible.
nothing.
I know, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
I remember Ola Kamara scoring like crazy.
Higuain scored for them?
Yeah.
Dude.
In the, I don't know.
He was like coaching and scoring at the same time.
He scored. He came on in an MLS's back tournament game in the 80th and scored in the 84th, sparking a comeback that led
Asterisk.
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 He might have scored for them other times. I'm not sure. That's just like it's in the text of his Wikipedia page, not even the stat sheet. It was just like, this is a thing that happened. And so once I learned that he had scored at least one time for them, that was good enough.
Stopped reading.
Huh. Yes.
MLS is back. That everything we need to know happened during the MLS is back tournament.
Also true.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. When was the last time the Crew beat DC United in the playoffs? A, 2018, B, 2013, C, 1999, D, never. All right, the answer is D, never.
Yeah.
Damn it. I wanted to do that.
Oh, nice.
I couldn't believe it. And I guess there's still my research was not the most exhaustive, but I'm pretty sure that the answer is correct. Never.
Yeah, that's good enough for this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that
they
is
never won in the playoffs?
never beat DC in the playoffs.
They just haven't been good the past
Right.
Yeah.
That's why
They were either really good or not in the playoffs.
Yeah, not in the playoffs.
DC eliminated the Crew from the playoffs 97, 98, 99.
Wow.
That's why it's one of the real rivalries.
Yeah. Although I was talking to my mom today, who, she's old school Crew fan as well, and she still considers them a rival, but like they have been kind of surpassed on the hatred scale, I think.
Oh yes.
There's been some good crossover of recent years with Pedro going there. I mean, I still follow Pedro on like social media stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
Love rooting for him.
Higuain before his brother Gonzalo went to Miami, right? He was I don't know that he had plans to like move on from DC until it was like the family connection down there.
Right.
And Kamara.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ola was
Not
Not Kai.
the one that just signed with LA.
But I was telling the reason I brought that
Ola.
up was I told Eric from the Dismemberment Plan, like, I actually want DC to do well. I want all the original MLS teams to do well.
Same.
I don't.
Yeah, Ben said they were going to make the playoffs last year.
So there you go.
They were
Lot of
one game
extraneous-
away.
And stood by it.
A lot of extraneous
I still
bullshit
stand by it.
surrounding this episode of the shootout, but
Yeah. Well, most importantly, I won with 4 points. So had Mort been here, I would have sat out this victory. But I'm glad to have held the title here. Chris, thanks again for making time to jump on here. We'll have you on again soon, and when we do, hopefully we can hear more about your book. Anything else to plug before we let you go here?
oh yeah, what I'm gonna review the new Vampire Weekend album this week. So sometime this week on stereogum.com, you can read my review of Only God Was Above Us by Vampire Weekend. I don't know
Have you
exactly.
heard
what
it
I'm
yet?
yet. Yeah, I've heard it.
I heard the
I'm
single
seeing
and I was
them in
like,
May.
oh, it's actually, I kind of like this.
I've had the album for a while, and I do really like it.
Yeah.
But I have like a very deep personal relationship with Vampire Weekend, so I have to like I've spent way too much time like kind of worrying about what I'm going to write.
Yeah,
Not that I'm like have personal relationships with the members of the band, but like just that like their music means a lot to me. So I want to make sure that I write like my little masterpiece review. So we'll see if it comes out that good.
Start with something like, some bands have it, some bands don't. This one definitely has it.
They got something.
They'll probably make
But
it.
yeah, be on the lookout for that at stereogum.com sometime this week, maybe like Wednesday. We'll see what I can kick out in the next couple of days.
Okay, and we'll see you on X with no check mark at Chris Deville, right?
That's right.
Okay, awesome.
Blue sky.
Thanks, Chris. We'll talk soon. See you, buddy.
See you guys.
Bye, Chris.
Hey guys, it's Carlos here with another Cappy recap. First of all, I would like to say that the MLS is dumb. They, for some business metrics reason, scheduled the game of the Crew 2 to start 30 minutes before the first team's game. So I guess a lot of people had to choose between one and the other. And I, of course, being who I am, watched all of the Crew 2 games since there are no replays yet. Another dumb decision by them. And then watched the replay for the first team. And I gotta say that the game for the second team was much more enjoyable. It was a great win and a great team performance. Best one of the year so far. The team is really starting to gel, and the new pieces and all the really young guys are starting to understand their places in the tactics. And it was, again, a really fun game. It was pretty even. The Cappies held most of the possession and looked really good in counters, using direct plays more so than our usual build-up. And that's something that the first team is starting to use more as well. So it's cool to see that, new tactics flow all the way. And if you're following the GA Cup, which is the academies playing in, they also use similar tactics. So it's a holistic approach for the whole organization. You know, the Cappies got out to a good start. They scored 2 quick goals, and the first half ended 2-1. Eventually, the game went to 2-2, and then 3-2 for the Cappies, and then 3-3, and finally 4-3 for us. There was a lot of arguing among the players. You know, some almost fights almost broke out, and it seems like Huntsville, for some reason, really doesn't like us. 3 of our 4 goals, and this is cool, were scored by academy players. Chris Rogers scored the first one, a header from a corner. Brent Adujiamfi had a great run and solo play to score our second goal, and Mo Saad got us our fourth and game-winning goal on a play that was just vintage. I'm a big center forward, and I am stronger than you, and I'm going to score because I want this more. It was awesome. Christopher Pearson scored our third goal, and it was expertly taken PK. Maybe the first team can take some tips from that. And I think that he was the man of the match. He played at CB, and he looks like he's a great prospect. And ironically, he came from Huntsville, the team that we played against last week. And, well, he scored on them. And another highlight that I need to point out was Owen Presses. He played right wing back in the first half and left wing back in the second. He's a huge talent. He can take set pieces with both legs and assisted with the first goal from a corner. You know, he's naturally right-footed, but he took that corner with his left leg, perfectly taken. Chris Rogers headed into the goal. And at the end of the game, he won a duel from a Huntsville corner and solo led a counter where he almost scored a Puskas-worthy goal. He dribbled past a few of their defenders and from basically the midfield line, shot the ball with his left leg and his weak leg over the goalie and unfortunately hit the post. It was awesome. And I'm sad that it didn't go in. Okay, but next game is against Toronto 2 at home on Sunday, April 7th, and the Capi Bravo will be giving away a free ticket, so watch for that on the socials. We'll probably start doing communications on that around Wednesday. Cool. Thanks, guys, and have a good one.
Okay, we're back. So during the break, Haws took his shirt off.
Yeah, why?
He's got
I mean, I love it.
Incredible chest.
Wow, it's going all the way
chest.
Up. He's got good shoulders.
Now he's completely
he blends
shirtless.
In with paint in the
Hold on, I
background.
gotta put my sunglasses on because
Oh my god, it's just like a beard on the wall.
Turn down the brightness here. Okay.
Turn off the light so we can see.
Hey, thank you, Bird, for the summary of the Crew 2. Thank you again, Chris, for the shootout and all that you do. Let's now go to we want to review the MLS table and our predict pick tables before we put our predictions on the line for this week. So let's do that now.
Tables. Just tables. Tables. But tables. I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
So in the East, we've got FC Cincinnati in first place with 12 points. Then we've got Inter Miami, Columbus Crew, New York Red Bull with 11 points, Toronto with 10, Atlanta, Philly, and DC with 9, Charlotte with 8, Montreal, Nashville with 7, Chicago, Orlando with 5, NYCFC with 4, and New England with 1.
Okay, so since Mort is not here, he sent me the standings for our predict picks. We're going to do our predictions for DC, which will count toward our standings internally, but we'll also put something on the line for Tigres. I'm happy to report that after last week, when you were all talking about how the score was going to be 3-1, I predicted 2-2. And that allowed me to jump to the top of the table. I have 6 points. Ben has 5 points. Trey has 3 points, tied with Mort with 3. For some reason, I'm listing Haws last with 4 points.
It's just natural.
Haws is in third place, but mentioned last.
That's how it should be. I think that's whoever.
I'm headed there.
Yeah, whoever lost last season always gets listed last. Even if they're
I
first
like
place.
that. I like that. I will, in my defense, Mort just sent me a screenshot of the table, and for some reason, I'll show you this. He has it. I don't know how he has it sorted, but it's not. I guess it's in order of who won last week or something. It's crazy.
No, it's just what's on the spreadsheet. That's just what it is permanently.
Okay. All right. Well,
unfortunately, no fun.
There's a sort function somewhere.
No fun spreadsheet.
Let's keep talking about spreadsheets. I'm in the lead with 6. Let's talk about let's do our DC predictions first. All right, let's talk about D's.
I don't know. I thought I
You got to think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
Buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
You're dumb.
Okay, so let's go through it here. Ben, first you said 3-1 crew. Are you sure you didn't? Did you type that or
sticking with last week?
Recency bias.
Nah, we're gonna have Cucho back. He's gonna be pissed.
Are we?
Are we?
Yeah, we are. Nah, I don't know that. I don't know that for a fact.
I hope so.
I think if we put 2 away past Nashville, we can do 3 with Cucho and possibly Ramirez or Matan back.
We could.
Problem.
It's a home game,
and it's a home game.
That is a prediction. Okay, Trey, you said 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to add to that?
I'm the opposite of Ben. I think Cucho's not going to be playing, and Ramirez isn't going to be back. I think the hamstring still has time to go.
You don't think he'll be back because of the game? So we play Tigers on Tuesday. Do we play them on next Tuesday? Like next week, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Probably, yeah.
So you think they're going to save him and
apart.
prioritize?
I don't think it's a
C3?
saving thing. I think it's a disciplinary thing, and
Really?
I'm just not sure where it's going.
Interesting.
So I'm going 1-0.
Okay.
Crew.
Haws, you said 1-1.
I went 1-1.
Yeah. Anything to add to that?
Not really. Just a guess.
I didn't even.
That's what this is. That's what this is.
Just to predict.
If you listen to the most recent episode of Aces Radio, anything can happen. I got Mort's prediction here. He said, what did he say? 3-2.
Hold on. I think we got him live.
Did he? Oh, good. Mort's here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming in
Yeah,
live.
Mort's got him on.
Hello.
Boy, you do sound sick.
Is it gonna be?
Wow.
Is it gonna be a 3 and a 2? Okay, tip of the hat.
That was
back to
Italian. He went Italian for the prediction.
I can't believe he left and he was dressed like Mario and Luigi,
He had a shirt on.
Thankfully,
That's
he had
weird.
a shirt on, though.
Yeah, he had a shirt on.
but no pants,
Okay.
but socks.
You get confused by
Butt
the
socks.
directions. Yeah.
But she's beautiful. But she's
Yeah,
dying. And I said, what did I say? 2-1. I took the Ben. It's going to be a 2-1 win because that's what's going to happen. All right, let's jump over to the Tigres game. We are at home. We learned from Chris that we have historically lost more than any other result against a Mexican side, but this is no ordinary Crew side. Are you guys ready to do your predictions for Tigres?
It's also a home and away series with aggregate goals. Away goals count for differential deciding factor as to who wins.
But you don't think that Nancy's going to
to lay
play
that out
like
there.
more defensive because of that, do you?
No, he's going to play Nazi ball.
Okay.
True.
Okay. And then, of course, if the listeners are submitting predictions, this will not contribute to our jersey giveaway, but Ben will send you some
Swag.
upper 90 swag. If
You're
you
welcome.
get the prediction right. You guys ready to submit?
Toads.
Let's do it.
No.
You're dumb.
All right, Ben, you said 2-1 crew.
Yeah,
Another example of recency bias, or just like, should I start saying numbers?
Normal score prediction.
I don't know. Are Tigers good? How'd they do last? I didn't watch them last round.
Yes, they are good.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good.
But we smashed America when it came through. Like it felt personal. And I feel like Tigres is also going to feel same team pretty much.
Do you think that America was considered one of the games that Chris mentioned because of the Mexico thing?
Yeah,
100%.
Okay. All right. Trey, you said 1-2. You think they're going to score twice?
You think we're going to lose?
I think we're going to lose
that game. Okay.
Yeah.
You think we're done? Because we're not coming back from that.
Far weather.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm just not the way we're trending right now, and I don't think it's like a forecast for the rest of the season, thinking we're going to be terrible or anything, but I don't see us coming into this game on a good streak. So, yep.
Okay.
And it'll probably be a home match for Tigres.
Okay. Yeah. We've seen that in the past.
Tuesday night.
Haws says 2-1 crew, same as Ben. Anything to add?
We're best friends.
Just a couple numbers. You expect us to put the ball past the line 2 times.
Hoping for a win. Hoping for some good weather.
All right.
Because I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Dressed as you are now?
Probably.
Shirtless?
Yeah.
Skirtless?
In addition to Ben and Haws, Mort also predicted 2-1.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
so,
boy.
We got the
2-1
think
boys
going on here. I said 4-1 crew
Seems
because there are no steaks and
potatoes.
So are you guys, Haws, you said you're going to the game. Ben, Trey, you gonna do it?
Definitely not. No.
Weeknight.
Kids
Family.
Got 1,000 things going on.
Things going on.
We got a kid's birthday, first birthday party coming up this weekend.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Easter
we're
Bunny
coming up
birthday.
on the 1-year anniversary of your child.
Yep. She can finally have sugar. So.
And then Ben, your baby is what? Like
Has had sugar since she was like 7 weeks old.
Yeah. No.
What? You had your baby what? Like May, June?
Ben, you look amazing for having your baby just pretty recently.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, your nips
It
look
was-
They've really come back to size.
They were big to begin with.
They were.
So remind me, because I was kind of bummed about the last round. Are we going to have a live only Fox situation for these games?
Oh yeah.
If theoretically we're not living in
let me double
Columbus
check. I can double check. Although I do want to say,
Wait, hold on. What does that mean? A live only Fox situation?
I was only able to watch the games last round against Houston live
CONCACAF.
and and on Fox.
and on VIX. So it's on VIX and it's on FS1.
FS1.
Or Fox
FS1 and VIX.
Okay.
What the f is VIX?
It's a vapor. It's
VIX
a vapor
Premium
rub.
Deportes
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, it's a vapor
Rub it
rub.
on your you rub it on your
Amazing.
bare
You just rub
chest.
it on your chest.
Rub it on your bare chest, and then the game is kind of projected like a Tupac hologram in front of you.
Still alive.
VIX
He's a Jamaican.
Premium Deportes 3.
I usually end up watching stuff if I can on 2day.
God bless you.
Like the U.S. games are phenomenal on there.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe we should just go. Just sack up and go. We'll see what happens.
To Tigres?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Tigres
For the home
to
game?
watch. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Mexico to watch it because they probably have it on all the channels.
We could practice our Spanish and just go
See,
see. I'm sure it'd be bad.
All right. Well, we will see you guys in a week. This has been great. Until then, go Crew.
Thanks, everyone, for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
What happened? Is he wearing no shirt under the shirt?
What happened to your buttons?
Dude.
Just had to air it out.
Snap off.
Haws chest.
Snap butts.
All right. Let's get back into it.